So, a little bit of backstory, I guess I'll get a little bit more into it. I had gone through a big transition towards the end of my 20s. I had lived with an ex for 8 years, and we were never legally married. We had a wedding, but never signed the paperwork. It was a whole thing. COVID happened. Married, but not married. And that relationship ended after 8 years of living together. And I found myself feeling very broken and angry and bitter. And I didn't think love was real. I vowed I would never be in a monogamous relationship again. But being the worldly woman I was, I still wanted to have sex. I still wanted to enjoy the pleasures of life without having to commit myself to another person ever again, because I didn't want to get hurt like that again. So, long story short, my ex moves out. I'm in this expensive luxury apartment by myself and trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills, and while also still trying to kind of scroll through the dating apps and the dating pool. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already sleeping with these men on Tinder and Hinge and whatever. I made a vow to myself, okay, I'm never having sex for free again. And that's when I got into sex work. Because I felt like I was accomplishing two goals at the same time. I was getting that instant gratification of sex and intimacy and human connection without having to have any strings attached, while also accomplishing the goal of being able to pay my rent, because I went from having two incomes in our household to just myself. And that led me into a world that I would like to say I was never meant to see, but I think I've shared this with Melody too. I'm so grateful that I got to see just the depths and the darkness that exists in this world. And these aren't just, the crazy, wealthy billionaires that you don't seem like real people. It's like, no, these are like dads at your kids' school pickup line. And these are people in your community who are deeply troubled and depraved and just involved in some really dark things. While engaged in that world, was eventually kind of went from having sex with multiple different men to mostly just one man. I joined a sugar daddy website, and we were mostly just seeing each other, but he was also married and had two children. And we were seeing each other for about 3 years. And then in October of 2022, I found out that I was pregnant. And because I was always taught that mantra of my body, my choice, it was a no brainer. Okay, I'm just going to have an abortion. No big deal. It's just a clump of cells. This isn't a real person. I'm not that far along. It's going to be super easy. And I also just was really wrestling with the thought of keeping a child that was just conceived in really unfortunate circumstances. The father of the child was married to someone else and already had two children. I was, just getting started in a new sales career, and it was doing really well and didn't want to mess that up. All the things that people tell you that are good justifications of having an abortion. And I remember when I told my mom that I was pregnant, she was so excited, which was so disappointing to me, because she was the one that always taught me my body, my choice. Hey, if you ever get pregnant, call me. I'll take you to the clinic. We never have to tell your dad. These are things that I was taught, the sexual ethic I was taught as a teenager. And then here I am at 28 years old, pregnant, calling my mom, and her response is, yay, you're going to be such a great mom. Congratulations. And I remember just being so angry at her for that. So I went to have the abortion.